Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Birds of the Feather podcast. This is Steve, and this is my friend Vaughn. Just wanted to take a moment to discuss our thoughts on the Eagles' Week 1 win against the Cowboys. Go Eagles, all the way. We'll start off with
Go
just giving
Birds.
our initial. We'll go start off with going with our initial thoughts. The Jalen Carter ejection. We're going to give our offense and defense. Vaughn, you want to take it off, or you want me to start, man?
Yeah, I can kick it off. I think that we played all right. It's the first game of the season, so we gotta get the kinks out. Um, Losing Jalen Carter was tough, but they were able to pull it through. So now we get to play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs this week and see if we can get to 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, at the beginning of the season, man, everybody's trying to get the offense filled out. We lost a lot on defense. Got younger players now on defense, so trying to get a feel for playing full time or first time starters with cases. My my initial thoughts are was that the offense looked great. The offense looked great. Besides, we didn't have any passing touchdowns. I was a little let down because we didn't get AJ Brown more touches of the ball, but I think they had a blanket coverage over him or double covering him, man. My initial thoughts is that the defense, we couldn't get any pressure. And I know we're going to talk about the Jalen Carter ejection coming up soon, man, but it just seems like we could not get any pressure with our front four.
Yeah.
It seems like, Dak Prescott had time to throw, and uh, he also was, it showed that he recovered from his injury pretty well. Dak was
hmm
mobile in the pocket, and I mean, he gave us a moving target. It was hard
Yeah.
to get a sack, get hands on him.
Yeah.
Um, Other initial thoughts is that I'm not so confident in the Adoree Jackson signing. I'm not comfortable with that cornerback position. I know it's just the first game. Not
hmm
saying that we should cut him, not saying that he shouldn't start, but I'm just not comfortable with Adoree Jackson out there on that cornerback side. Um,
Yeah.
okay, let's keep it rolling. The Jalen Carter ejection. So man, I was actually
Yeah.
I was actually driving home when my other brother called me and told me that, man, Jalen got ejected. And I was like, Jalen who? He said, is it Jalen Hurts? And I was like, no way Jalen Hurts got ejected early in the game. He wouldn't be
hmm
doing anything crazy like that. So in my head, I was like, man, it probably was Jalen Carter. And so when I got home, I saw that he sat on Dak, man. I was like, Jay, what are you doing? It
Who
was
does that?
just, I was a little ticked off because I'm like, man, you are the focal point on the defense. Offensive
Yeah.
coordinators have to game plan just for you. And
hmm
so
Right.
I was very disappointed. I was a little embarrassed to be an Eagles fan for that moment because I'm like, man, nobody wants anybody spitting on them, and that's just something that I don't. It wouldn't be tolerated for me, man. And so
hmm
they showed throughout the game. They showed where Dak sat on the ground towards Jalen Carter, but again, I'm sitting
Yeah.
here like, hey, okay, that may have been a little disrespectful, but he didn't even spit on you. And
Right.
so that it was I was very disappointed in Jalen Carter, man. He has to be better. I know he will be. I'm sure he learned his lesson, and he was fined for about what $57,000 for that incident. So
This whole game check.
yeah, man,
Whole game check,
yeah, man,
man.
yeah. So
Uh,
what else? You got anything else on Jalen Carter, man?
um, I mean, I understand. like him feeling disrespected by Dak spitting towards him. But I mean, you show up in the game and sack him. You don't spit on him because they were told in the offseason that they were cracking down on unsportsmanlike conduct. And, maybe in previous seasons, he might have gotten a unsportsmanlike penalty, stayed in the game, and got fined. But the NFL said they were cracking down on that. And for that to be before the first game of the season, before a play even happened, while a teammate just got lost for the season, Van Van Sumeren, it's just kind of crazy. You gotta keep your composure. We know all his issues he had
Yeah.
off the field in college, and it just brought back a lot of feelings towards him in the general NFL fandom. So this man is going to get paid a lot of money soon because he's one of the most disruptive D tackles in the league, um, and we need him. So he needs to do better. He needs to do better. We need this guy on the team in order for us to go back to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, he needs to do better.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay. Okay. So next we'll roll on to our offense grade. Man, I'll give our offense grade I'll give it a B. I'm glad we got the win. It seems like Jalen Hurts was firing on all cylinders, man, with the two rushing touchdowns. Little wanted to see some passing touchdowns also, but hey, I'll take the win. I know they had AJ Brown on a blanket coverage, so it was hard to get him the ball. But he made the throws when necessary. So that's all I can ask is do just like Jalen Hurts does all the time. He does whatever it takes to win. And so I'll give him a B. I don't recall Saquon Barkley having that big of a game, but Saquon Barkley on the field, I know the defense is looking for him, and that should take the pressure off Jalen Hurts, take the pressure off the receivers, and I wasn't that impressed with the offensive line play this first game, man. Seemed like we just I don't know if it was a breakdown on the line of scrimmage, or I don't know if we just got beat outright. But yeah, that's my grade for the Eagles offense, week 1B.
Yeah. Mine is C plus. That's the first thing that came to mind when asking for a grade for the offense. Um, there's some caveats. This is a new coaching staff for the Cowboys, so there's no film that the coaching staff can look at and say, okay, this is what we expect. I mean, these coaches have coached before the NFL, but not with the Cowboys. So that's one thing. I like your point about the O line. I also think that the O line wasn't up to par. Kevin Patullo, the OC, called them out in his press conference. They need to block better. And like it's the first game of the season, so getting the kinks out. I don't think they played at all in the preseason, so this is kind of like a preseason for them. I think that I want to just keep an eye on uh, the routes. AJ Brown does better with man coverage than zone. And they were zoning him up. They were, like you said, the blanket coverage. So I want to see some adjustments by the OC and the coaching staff. You know, there's going to be teams that are going to zone us up because they want to take away AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and then they're going to try to put more guys in the box to stop Saquon. So we need some counters to all that. And so, like I said, there's new coaching staff in Dallas. So, you see how teams are going to attack us. Now let's see some counter punches. So for right now, C plus, but with some caveats.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So let's talk defense. Defensive.
Okay.
I give the Eagles defensively. I give it a C. The thing that stood out to me was two things that stood out. We couldn't pass rush. Um, just
Mm.
getting ejected, that's going to affect us in a great ways. Negative. Didn't have pass rush. Jackson was getting by CD Lamb, which CD receiver. So we could cover on. Um, uh, we had gotten penalties. I think about
Mm.
100 yards. 9 penalties
Yeah,
for 150 yards. So
most of them coming from CB
just
too.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, we just defense to Jordan Davis stepped up a big way for us. We needed him to play a lot more minutes than he usually plays, and
Mm.
he stepped up. So props to him. I just hope Jalen Carter saw that and saw that the defense isn't the same without him.
Mm.
Um, we can't get pressure up front. Our DBs can't cover for more than 3 or 4 seconds. It's hard to do that. And
Mm.
so, linebacker play, I was very impressed with our rookie that we had, Jahad Campbell. He did real
Yeah,
good, man. It's like he covered a tight end on that that route up the, I think it was up the middle with the tight end from the Dallas Cowboys. Had
yeah,
great
they run a
coverage on
Tampa
that.
too.
Maybe gotcha. Yeah, he did play. Bond was that things. Um, Other than that, man, just pass rush. I'm glad we clamped down when we needed to on that last session, but we
Mm.
got to play better. I believe defense wins championship. And I'll believe that forever. And we need defense when we're talking about trying another bowl run. The high powered offenses we're facing the NFC, and don't we
Yeah.
ain't even looking at the AFC right now. But we're
Mm.
just trying to be better.
Yeah. Uh, my first thought is C+ for the defense. Um, with the pass rush, I feel like, and we're gonna, I want to keep track of it, but I feel like Dak just was playing really well. He got the ball out quick enough before our pass rush can get there, and he moved really well in the pocket. Jordan Davis should have had one sack, maybe even two. Um, and we need our, DNs and outside linebackers to get some pass rush. I think we're going to talk about it later, but I think that's one of the reasons why we signed Darius Smith. I heard that they've been talking to him for a while, but maybe this is just like, hey, we need some more oomph in the rushing off the edge. Um, but yeah, Jordan Davis, like you said, outstanding. Great game. A little disappointed in the Jomo. Thought he was going to be better, but we lost Jalen Carter. So maybe with Jalen Carter back in the lineup, we might see something different. Um,
Okay.
Josh Uche, Josh Uche had a good game. We need some more stats from him from rushing outside, the speed rusher. Little shocked that Olar Ojulari Algiz Ojulari didn't start. He didn't play. He didn't suit up. So we keep track of that. The linebackers, yeah, like you said, Campbell for a rookie played really well. You could see his athleticism. You could see his talent. You know, Kobe Dean, great teammate, great linebacker for us. I don't think he's getting his spot back if Campbell's healthy.
Oh
Um,
man, gotcha.
it's messed up, but you see it. You see it. Zach Bond is Zach Bond.
Yep.
Like we got lucky getting Zach Bond. That tackle saving, that touchdown saving tackle that he made on Miles
Yeah.
Sanders. You know that changed the game because several plays later he's fumbling the ball. So if he didn't make that, if he gave up on the play, didn't make that tackle, there would have been a score on the board. So. Um, Yeah, you love to see that. The safeties, Reed, Reed Blankenship, man. He go
Uh,
he's just he's just a great find for us. Undrafted free agent. He's just out there balling. I hate that he got that was it that penalty where Dak threw a hospital ball to the tight end, and what was he supposed to do? Dude dropped it because he was scared of getting hit, and he tried to let up, but he couldn't. So there you go. But he played great. And Makuba, I thought Makuba played well. Now Vic Fangio said that he uh, missed some keys in the game, so you know I guess he's getting on him, but from what I could tell, he looked good. Quinyon, a little disappointed. He's one of my favorite players on the team. He had an interception that could have ended the game, went through his hands. He's always had problems with catching the ball, but I was hoping that training camp he was doing better with that. So I want to see more, but he was at least he was in the general area of C.D. Lamb and George Pickens when he was covering them. Unlike CB2, Adore Jackson, who was not in the general area when they, especially with CD. I didn't really know why um, Quinyon was on George Pickens. Maybe because George Pickens is bigger and taller than Adoree, and they were scared of just being outmatched with Adoree on him. But they wound up putting Quinyon on CD at the end of the game. So I don't know what was that plan right there. Uh, Jacorian Bennett, I think he played better than Adore, but he was so handy. He got a lot of penalties too. So we got some work to do there. Overall, like I said, C plus. We didn't have Jalen Carter. It's also it's also a new offense for the Dallas Cowboys. We didn't know what to expect. Um, like I said, this is like a preseason game, so just getting the kinks out. But yeah, C plus, and I'm hoping to see more from the defense. There's not going to be two, um, maybe like 15, um, like top 15 wide receivers against the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have that talent with them. So I hope that we're not going to see horrible CV play by Dory Jackson against the Chiefs.
gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. So let's go ahead and move on, man. Um, get, So next, just some news this past week. We're a bit late, but on I think September the 8th, Adam Scheffler came out, tweeted about the Eagles trading for Tank Bigsby, giving the Jaguars 2026 fifth and sixth round pick. Um, and the thoughts, I love it. I know he had some fumbling issues like early in his career. But
Mm-hmm.
talented running back, and we're gonna get him up to speed on how he can help the Eagles.
Yeah.
Um, just let some of the information on him and have score point which ranked him 223 out of 1,700 running backs. So that's pretty good. He was the eighth pick in the third round of the 2023 draft. And it was a new after Will Shipley. I think he the rib injury.
Oblique
Um,
ribs.
you know
Yeah.
he yeah, okay, yep. So with the injury to Will Shipley, this was a good trade by Howie Roseman, man. And Howie we trust. And so he saw a need, and we went out and got a talented running back who can provide us some depth, can give Saquon a break when he needs it, and just hope we'll get a handle on those fumbling issues. So, any thoughts there?
Yeah. I think it was Adam Schefter. He mentioned that the Eagles were trying to get Bigsby with the Frank Jackson trade or Fred Jackson trade. when Jacksonville
Okay.
traded Fred Jackson back to us. He was originally a part of that deal as well, but Jacksonville wanted to keep him, and I guess they saw their running back core, and they were okay with letting Bigsby go. Also, I think that from what I've heard from other Eagles reporters, that they might be looking at using Bigsby on punt returns and kickoff
Okay.
returns. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Yeah, I mean, getting talent, especially when they were going to rely on Will Shipley, um, it's good. I mean, I don't know how long Will Shipley's going to be out, but this was in the plan beforehand. So, Howie is never um, caught on the back foot. He's always looking ahead. So, got the best GM in the league.
Yeah, yeah. What you always tell me, how we vision.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's
He's a
keep
wizard.
going. Yep. So another one. So Eagles signed Zadarius Smith this past week. Some much needed depth, veteran presence. Just remember he's a three-time Pro Bowler, 6'4", 275 pounds. Brings a ton of veteran experience, and his career high in sacks was in 2019, 13 and a half sacks. Um, I think it's a good pickup. It's one of those low risk, high reward. Bring him in on third and long. Give some of our other pass rushers a rest, and he just do what he specializes in: get after the quarterback. So hopefully he can make an impact for us like he did on those others. I think he was on five. Was he on five or six different teams before us? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he was on the
Uh,
Ravens, and I know he was on the
Detroit,
Vikings and the
Green
Lions.
Bay.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean he's been on a handful of teams before coming to us, so I think what that says is that he was a high performer everywhere he went. I mean he maybe then wasn't a Pro Bowler every year, but I think he can fit into our system on what we need him to
hmm
do, which is just get
yeah,
after the quarterback. So bring him in on third and long, and hey man, let's see what he can do.
yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, uh, they might not be pleased with their pass rush on the outside. So, you know, just getting some more depth is fine, especially if you're not going to use Ojulari. We need some pass rush, and Jalen Carter's coming back, so
Yep.
I'm hoping that this is going to that's going to jumpstart our pass rush. We got Jalen Hunt, we got Nolan Smith, Uche. So
Yep.
just adding in Zadarius Smith, I'm expecting more 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 oomph in our pass rush.
Okay.
And so we'll just see how it goes.
Okay. So all right. So that's it, man. So any thoughts for Eagles coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, I expect to win. We're playing the best uh, quarterback in the league, and Patrick Mahomes, but I mean he's only one guy. With Xavier Worthy's not playing, they don't have Rice. I don't see how they can break our defense. So I'm expecting a better defensive play. Even with Adoree Jackson playing, I'm expecting a better performance from our defense. As far as the offense, like I said, I want to see um, some counters to what the Cowboys showed us. So I mean, what are zone beaters? How I want to see better line play. I want to see Saquon get those gaps that he got last year, so he can make teams pay. We shouldn't have to rely on Jalen Hurts' legs all the time to get yards. Um, give him easy reads. Give him throws that he likes to make. You know, we've done this before. Let's do it. I mean, I loved how Jalen Hurts played against the Cowboys because he wasn't looking to run, he was looking to pass, and he looked through his progressions, but he knew that the Cowboys had great coverage, and he just used his legs, but he wasn't trying to use his legs. And I want him to be able to make those reads now and keep going. And I want the OC to make it easier for him and easier for the offense, give better routes to the wide receivers, and I want the O line to block better. So that's what I'm expecting.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, Eagles Chiefs game, big game. A lot of people, a lot of analysts are saying that it's a revenge game for the Chiefs. I mean, I think we just approach it like every other game in the regular season. Hey, this is part of our Super Bowl run to get back to the Super Bowl. So we'll have Jalen Carter back. Glad we got him back, and confident that Jalen Hurts will do whatever it takes to win, make the right decision, pass, run, and I do hope Saquon Barkley could get loose a little bit on the Chiefs. But if they start stuffing the run again, I know our wide receivers will do their job to get open. Like you said, we do need better route concepts to adjust to whatever kind of coverage, whether it's zone, man. Let's put our wide receivers in the best place to succeed, right? And yeah, we need better offensive line play. We have a top five offensive line. We should have the best offensive line. I think we do have the best offensive line. And we need to continue that this game to win. I want to own the Chiefs defensive line. I want to own them. And I want to own their offensive line also. So you're looking for more uh, a more lethal pass rush, especially with Jalen Carter because he demands double teams. So looking for a good Eagles win tomorrow. So that's all I had. You got anything else, Horn?
No, go Birds.
Gotcha. Yep. Go Birds. Big and Green. Hey, everybody. We got the video out kind of late, so thank you for all your support. Thank you for watching. Please continue to support us on our weekly videos coming out on the Eagles Birds of a Feather podcast. Thank you.
Peace.